Jody, thank you for joining us. 7 points picked up so far in the past 3 games. Pretty happy with that? The mood in the camp must be pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, because the mood was obviously pretty low after the Boreham Wood game. We needed a positive reaction. Lots was said, lots of hard work on the training ground, and it's always good when you get a positive response. And yeah, very happy with the 7 from the last 3 games. Although being honest, maybe we could have got 9.
Thrilling match last time out against Yeovil. Plenty of twists and turns, but it was really the formation change and the substitutions that made the biggest impact. Is that pleasing from a coaching point of view?
Yeah, I think it's pleasing from a coaching point of view, but I think it's important for me to say, the gaffer picks the team, he picks the system, and his changes. Having been a manager myself, I know you get heavily criticised when you get it wrong, so you deserve a huge amount of credit when you get it right. We went 1-0 down, and almost immediately he made the attacking changes, changed the system and brought on 2 wide players. And I'm delighted that it paid dividends, and I thought they both had a positive influence on the game. And
there was some great attacking play in that second half, but we're yet to keep a clean sheet so far this season. Is that sort of something that we need to work on going forward?
Yeah, it's obviously always something you're looking at. You're always, the best time to be looking at areas to improve is to be able to do it when you're winning. So as much as we're delighted to have won 2 of the last 3, we're disappointed to concede as many goals and chances as we have done. We certainly we're working hard on both from an analysis point of view and from an out on the training ground point of view. But sometimes, to be honest with you, it just comes down to people winning their personal battles. It's not always a shape thing, it's not always a tactical thing. Sometimes it's just down to the individuals to go and win the header, to go and make the block, to not get beaten 1v1, and I think that's something we've all got to do better.
It was brilliant to see Joe Quigley open his account for the club on Monday. 2 well-taken goals. How much of a boost is that going to be for his confidence going forward?
Oh yeah, I think it's massive. I think it's absolutely massive. It's been quite clear that Quiggs has been sometimes subject to some negative criticism, which is fair when you miss chances. I think he'd hold his hands up and say he missed a couple of good chances that might have brought different results in those games. He'd come out of the side for a little while. He worked really hard. I do a lot of work with the forward boys at the end of training and stuff. He's a good finisher. He is a good finisher. There's no doubt about that. So the misses in those games are unfortunate and maybe a confidence thing. But he got his header. It was a great header. And then I thought he took the second goal brilliantly. Tight first touch and then the outside of the foot finish. That's a result probably of the confidence of the first goal. I think there's more to come from him. 22 years old. I think he's a great lad. I think he's got ability, no doubt about it. I thought on top of the goals, his hold-up play and the number of headers that he won to bring in people into the game was exceptional. And it's easy to only judge a striker on goals, but it's important to realise that he brings more than just goals to the team.
Yeah, definitely. August, the busiest month of the National League season.
Yeah.
How would you assess our first month overall, looking at it as a whole so far?
It's a tricky question because obviously we find ourselves now 1 point outside the playoffs, which is probably about where we would like to be. At the same time, you do have the power of hindsight now, and you look back and I think, like I touched on there, if we took our chances against Woking, could we have got at least a point, if not 3? I felt the Easter game at 1-0, we maybe could have gone on and won that game as well. And then obviously the away game at Halifax, Quiggs missed from a yard out, and at 1-0 that might change the game. So I look at it and I think we could have had more points, but to be a point outside the playoffs after 7 games is really positive for us.
Yeah, and going into that final game in August against Chesterfield on Saturday, a team that have had a pretty slow start, no wins so far, but we've got to be wary of the threats that they've got, haven't we?
100%. I mean, I had them down as my favourites in pre-season, looking at it when John Sheridan came in late last season. I think their form was exceptional. We went up there and found it really difficult. And you look at their games so far, I think they've had 4 draws, haven't they? So they're probably not a million miles away. I think the big big forward Denton is back available for him, who's not played so far this season, which brings another dimension to their play. And there's still a side that I expect to be challenging. So yeah, we don't go up there looking at the respective records of us and them. I don't think that comes into it. We'll assess them properly as we've already started, and we'll give them all the respect they deserve, because they're a good club with a good manager, a good team, and we expect them to do well. So we'll certainly go up there very, very focused and very determined to get something from the game.